Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance Channel's Romance Roundup, the #1 romance book recs talk show. I am Liz Donatelli.
And I'm Libby K, author of the sweet romance series Buckeye Falls.
Libby and I are chatting about fall 2024 romance releases with Nikki Snyder, co-manager and bookseller at Gramercy Books in Columbus, Ohio. Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance Channel and subscribe on YouTube. Listen to Romance Roundup on Podbean and all podcast apps. Viewers and listeners can email us at readerseeksromance@yahoo.com and follow us on Instagram at LibbyKAuthor and Reader Seeks Romance. Hello, Libby and Nikki.
Hello.
Hello. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for returning. Libby and I are super excited to hear all about the romance books releasing this fall.
Nikki, let the roundup begin.
Giddy up. So the first one is The Truth According to Ember by Danica Nava. I don't know if you guys have heard about this one yet. It actually comes out on Tuesday. And I was really excited about this one because of representation. It is actually about a Chickasaw woman who can't catch a break, and she serves up a little white lie that snowballs into a much more in this witty and irresistible rom-com by debut author Danica Nava. So it is an Indigenous woman, and I am actually a tribal member of the Lac du Flambeau Band of Lake Superior Chippewa Indians. It's a long title.
Okay.
So to be able to see that, you don't see Native American main characters in romance.
Yeah.
We're going a long way with romance. There's a lot of representation happening, very diverse, and I was really excited to see this. So it seems as though the main character, Ember, she's doing a job search. It's not going well. She keeps being rejected, and she thinks that maybe it has something to do with the fact of how she's representing herself, which is authentically as a Chickasaw woman. So she gets creative in listing her qualifications, and she answers the ethnicity question a little bit different. She just changes herself to not checking that little box that says Native American. So, and weirdly enough, she gets a job basically immediately. So she's thriving. She's an accountant. She's thriving in her little corporate life. And then she meets Danuwola Colson, who is an IT guy and a fellow Native who caught her eye on the first day. So, yeah. So, there's a little forbidden love because there's a no dating policy at work, but we'll work around that. We'll just keep a little secret. They're caught in a compromising position on a work trip. They have a scheming colleague who blackmails Ember when they find out that Ember is lying about their ethnicity, I guess.
Withheld it?
Withheld? Yeah.
Withholding, yeah, right.
Yeah. So I think that she just kind of has to eventually make the decision to come out and be her authentic self. So that sounded very interesting to me. I thought the cover is very cute. It's a beautiful couple on the front, and the Native man has a beautiful traditional long braid. So very excited about that. That comes out August 6th. So Tuesday.
Excellent.
Very soon. I love it.
Yeah, very soon. I tried to I looked up like fall books, and then I just happened to, I was like, oh, I hope that's not too soon.
Yeah,
no, that works. Out of all of the more diverse offerings we're seeing with romance books, I've seen Indigenous stories in literary fiction, but not necessarily in romance. So this is exciting.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, our romance section, we didn't used to have one at the Gramercy Books, and then we had one shelf, and then we had 2 shelves, and now we have an entire bookcase that is all romance. And as of today, it is basically like there are almost no face outs. It is so full. And even looking through that, it's like, luckily you're starting to see a lot of BIPOC characters. We have characters that are Armenian, like in the Lavash at First Sight. We have characters that are Jewish, like the Gene Meltzer books. But this is the first time that I've noticed it, and I was very excited to see that.
Excellent. Is this the author's first romance?
It says they're a debut author.
Wow.
It says that she's an enrolled citizen of the Chickasaw Nation and works as an executive assistant in the tech industry. She has an MBA from USC Marshall School of Business, lives in Southern California with her husband. It's her first debut. Yeah, it's her debut novel.
Oh, fantastic.
Very cool.
Congratulations, Danica. I'm definitely one of those people that falls into the trope of sometimes I read the TikTok books, okay? And this series, I'm a human. So this is the 3rd one in the Maple Hills series by Hannah Grace. She wrote Icebreaker and Wildfire, which I listened to both of them when they came out because I'm a human woman. Daydream comes out. When does this come out? August 27th. So the end of this month. And I don't know if either of you have read the first two books. Have you read them?
I actually haven't.
I haven't, and I'm embarrassed because I keep getting Icebreaker, because Icebreaker's the first one, right?
Icebreaker's the
Yes.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep getting that on. I keep delaying the hold basically from the library for the audiobook because, and I've heard, I don't want to say bad things, but I've heard people either love it or I'm like, oh, what did you think? And then actually, two people that come to the Gramercy Book Club have read it, and I asked what they thought, and they both went, eh. So I'm curious to see.
Okay.
So you liked the first two, obviously, if you're excited to read the third.
Yeah,
Right.
I like them enough to read the third, if that means anything. But I think the thing that people don't like about it is I think a lot of people, especially readers of a certain age, they're college romances. So at some point, you know, I'm 34 now, and I'm like, do I really care what some 20-year-old hot ass figure skater's doing with her life? I really don't.
So they're college age, but is it more adult subject matter or does it feel collegey?
I think that's where people get confused, and I think that's where some people have a disconnect. So they're college age. It's one of those things where it's like they introduce you to all the side characters. You meet all the girl, you know, in Icebreaker, you met the girl and all of her friends, and you met her love interest and all of his hockey friends, and they all live in a house together. So it's like one of those things where you meet all the characters and they slowly start kind of pairing off. But the content is quite heavy. So
well, I heard it was steamy too.
it's
like
extremely steamy. Yeah, I think that's what the juxtaposition is because I'm reading it like it's like a little YA because it's these people talking about their problems. Oh no, I twisted my ankle and the hockey player has to be my doubles partner. Blah. And it's like I couldn't care less about that. But at the same time, like one chapter into the first book, at least, we're already like, oh. We're using
so there's action that early.
Really?
Not between him and her in the first one at the very it's like her and another it's very they're also extremely sex positive. If you were to cut out all of the hard and fast sex scenes, which there are plenty of, it would read like a YA book almost, like the way they talk to each other, and the chemistry even seems extremely like we're 21. So,
okay.
So the third in the New York Times bestselling Maple Hill series follows fan favorite Henry and a bookish fellow student who come up with a plan to help them both overcome their respective challenges in a difficult year. So if I'm remembering correctly, we met Henry. He's one of in the first book, he's one of like the brand new hockey players. So they introduced them early. He's extremely quiet. He's the one who's very lovely and like introverted, who does the unspoken nice things for everyone. And so now we've reached, the third where it's Henry's time to rise. I did think that this was funny because they said a bookish fellow student. It's like, well, perfect, because everyone knows in 2024 there has to be some bookish element to a romance novel. They have to be in publishing or something. So when his procrastination lands him in a difficult class with his least favorite professor, Henry Turner knows he's going to have to work extra hard to survive his junior year of college. And now with his new title of captain for the hockey team, which he didn't even want, apparently. Okay, Henry. Henry absolutely cannot fail. Enter Hallie Jacobs, a fellow junior who finds herself befriended by Henry when he accidentally crashes her book club. Oh my gosh, he's sensitive. He goes to book club. And he plays hockey. Because his professor hates him, this beautiful bookish girl decides to tutor him, I guess.
Oh, okay. That's where we're going with that.
That's where we're going with that.
She's really tutoring him, or is this a euphemism?
It says
she's tutoring him hard.
Hey-o, gonna get that A. As soon as she hears about As soon as she hears about Henry's problems with his class reading material, she offers to help. Too bad being a private tutor isn't exactly ideal given her own studies, job, book club, and the novel she's trying to write. Of course she is.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I know. But new experiences are the key to beating her writer's block, and Henry's promising to be just the one to give them to her. They just need to stick to their rule book.
That's quite a lot given away on the back of the book.
Yeah. It's like, it feels like that's what a lot of these romances are doing now, is like, I know the entire plot of what's going to happen.
Is that something you're noticing in general with books at the bookstore? Like, I know you don't sit all day and read the backs of books, but is that something you're noticing, that the descriptions are, for lack of a better word, more descriptive?
I think that I don't know if it's like books that aren't like literary, the more I feel like a book that's trying to be literary will tell you less, and
Yeah.
a book that is trying to get you sucked in so you already feel invested in the story or like you understand the story, maybe give away more. So
That
like,
makes perfect sense.
yeah, so like
Yeah.
sometimes I've read these covers and I'm like, I still don't know a single thing about what this book is about. It's
Yeah.
so vague, and they're using
Yeah.
things like in the description they'll be like as mesmerizing as a seashell on the cove, blah 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 by who delivers heartfelt drama and family, blah. And it's like, okay, but who is the characters and what are happening to them?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, especially because romance books are obviously character focused, so it's nice to know who we're dealing with. But yeah. Now, do you get the vibe, since there's so many people in this house having sex with each other, that there's going to be more than 3 books?
I'm trying to remember.
How many people could they fit in that house? This could be like a 15-book series.
I mean, it's like a frat house, but it's like a hockey team. They're not all having sex with each other.
I
They
know,
just-
I know.
Next book. It is called A Jingle Bell Mingle, and it is actually the third in a series. They're kind of connected, but you don't need to read all of them to do them. It is by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. It
Oh,
is,
okay.
yep, it's the third. The
Yeah.
first one is A Merry Little Meet Cute. The second one is A Holly Jolly Ever After, and this one
Mhm.
is A Jingle Bell Mingle. This comes out September 24th. A second chance romance, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, this first line. It says, "What happens when there's no room at the inn and you and your potentially demonic cat become roommates with your grumpy one-night stand?"
Dun, dun, dun.
Wah,
Dun,
wah,
dun.
wah.
So,
Is this another? Because I have not read any of these books in the series, because I think these are the ones that are like almost 500 pages. Are these the
they're
ones that are,
very, yeah,
they're
they're
very
big.
thick, right? Yeah.
They are. They're ensemble, but you don't need to read them to enjoy them, kind of thing.
Okay.
So like the main character, the main female character, both of them in this one, that had been peppered in throughout the other
Okay.
ones.
Okay.
You don't need to. So part-time adult film actress and one-time adult film director / makeup artist, she does everything. Sunny Palmer has accidentally sold her very first screenplay to the Hope Channel. So the Hope Channel is this series version of like Hallmark.
Homework.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but the what we learned in the first 2 books is that the Hope Channel has recently decided they're going to start like a Hope Channel After Dark channel where they do the same kind of stuff, but it's well Cinemaxy. That was 6 months ago. Fast forward to a looming deadline, and uninspired Sunny has returned to the source of her inspiration in Christmas Notch, Vermont, which is where they film all of them, to immerse herself in the local Christmas miracle on which her fever dream of a movie pitch was based. Isaac Kelly, former boy band heartthrob and the saddest boy in the music biz, attractive, is the latest owner of the town's historic mansion. After his years of heartbreak following his young wife's death, okay, that is sad, Isaac's record label is done waiting for new music. What better place to attempt his first holiday album than a snow-covered mansion where he can become a hermit in peace? After her best friend's wedding leads them to waking up together in a freezing motel room with questionable wiring and a broken shower, Isaac takes a chance and asks Sunny to stay with him at his home. Surely this place is big enough that he'll hardly see her or her unhinged cat. But when the two discover they're both creatively blocked, they make a handshake deal. Isaac will help Sunny hunt down the truth behind the local lore, and Sunny will find Isaac a new muse. And with these two opposites under one roof, there is no way this Jingle Bell Mingle could go off script, right?
That's just too much information.
We got
And
all
the
the way
cat was
up
mentioned
till
twice.
Cat was mentioned twice. We get all the way up to she's now living with him. She has been unhomed and she is living with him.
So we got a squatting situation.
We got a squatting situation.
Oh.
So, but what I liked about the first 2 was they were big, thick books. I actually really found them charming in their in-betweens, because it does take place in like a little charming town in Vermont. Like they're trying to make a wholesome movie in the first one. I find them charming, even though they do get quite explicit in some bits.
Well, that was not to be weird, but I figured if it's 500 pages, there's got to be some shenanigans going on.
Yeah, there is.
I'm loving everything about this, and actually, I think this might be at the top of my list now.
Yes.
All right.
So that sounds good. That comes out September 24th.
What's your next one, Nikki?
Well, let me tell you. My next one is called Adam and Evie's Matchmaking Tour. And it is by a romance novelist named Nora Nguyen, which is Nguyen. And it is coming out September 24th. And I'm actually really looking forward to this because it feels like one of the more heartfelt romances that are coming out this fall. There's a lot of rom-coms. There's a lot of like saucy, spicy ones. There's a lot of holiday ones.
Yeah.
This one seems like it's one that actually will be very like meaningful to read. A rollicking, unforgettable romance about two strangers finding love despite their best efforts as they embark on a sweeping matchmaking tour through Vietnam, perfect for readers of Carly Fortune and Abby Jimenez. So the main character, Evie, is not doing great in life. Her life's in shambles. She's very close to their aunt. Her aunt has passed away. She's unceremoniously fired from her professorship in poetry by her secret boyfriend. So she was dating her boss and he fired her. So she's lacking income and inspiration. She's stuck in Ohio with no way how to move forward until hope arrives in a surprising letter. Where's my letter? No.
Yeah. As we all sit here in Ohio.
I know all of us are like, I'm in Ohio.
Yeah.
Auntie Howe left Evie the deed to her San Francisco row house, a place full of Evie's happiest memories. The catch: to inherit, she must go on a prearranged matchmaking tour in Vietnam, which is a very common thing in Vietnam, apparently.
Okay.
The last thing Evie wants is to spend time with a group of strangers looking for love, but she can't resist the chance to finally visit her family's native home. So she goes to Vietnam with the hope of like, I got nothing better to do, and this could be my chance. A world away, Adam Kewen has a chip on his shoulder. He's working around the clock for as CMO for his sister's elite matchmaking business, a job complicated by her insistence that he knows nothing about love. He's desperate to prove himself, so when she challenges him to join the inaugural tour, he reluctantly agrees. Adam thinks Evie is chaotic and unpredictable. Evie thinks Adam is grumpy and uptight, but from the bustling streets of Ho Chi Minh City to the soaring waterfalls in Da Lat, they keep getting thrown together, their animosity charged with attraction, and they discover that true love may be out there if they're willing to take a leap. Two stubborn hearts, one whirlwind adventure. Adam and Evie's matchmaking tour is a story of how loving and living bravely can lead you to the most unexpected places and the most imperfectly perfect loves.
I haven't read any romances set in Vietnam. That's awesome.
No. Yeah, no, I haven't either. One of the things I'm most excited about for this book is that we actually found out about it like 3 months ago because the author actually lives in Columbus and we are familiar with her. She comes to the store all the time. We're very close with her. And we, exclusive for you guys, we will be having her come to Gramercy Book Club for a romance book club. And that's the book we will be reading in November, I believe, November. So
yay,
excellent.
We're really excited. Yeah, and I'm excited. And we haven't read anything really like this at all for Romance Book Club. Right. We're coming off of a couple of fun ones with our Scottish Highlands whiskey distillery and then a magical ornithology contest. So, what's next? Vietnam matchmaking. That's what's on my bingo card.
You're keeping us on our toes and I like it.
Let no one say that we don't do a variety of things in Romance Book Club.
I love it. I hope it goes deep into the culture. Like I could see a lot of opportunity for food related scenes. I think it has a lot of potential. Yeah.
I think so too. Yeah. And this author has also written under the name Tao Tai, which is, you might be familiar with the novel Banyan Moon, actually was a read with Jenna Pick. It did extremely well. And it was a family saga about several, generation after generation of the same, I believe it's Vietnamese family. I have no doubt that it will be nice and steeped in culture and also romance. So I'm excited.
Oh,
awesome. And I'm glad that we're doing it for book club. Ooh.
I know. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that one. Yeah. So the last one that I have comes out October 1st and is somehow a Christmas book. It is Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring Blake. So Ashley Herring Blake actually wrote probably my favorite romance series, which is the Bright Falls series, which includes Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. Yeah, that was a completely sapphic, small town romance. I adored it. I adored it so much. I still love it. Everyone should read it. But this one is a new novel from that author. It's a holiday novel. Two exes find themselves stuck at the same house for Christmas in this holiday romance. So 5 years since Charlotte Donovan was ditched at the altar by her ex-fiance, and she's doing more than okay. Sure, her single mother never checks in, but she has her strings ensemble, the Rosalind Quartet, and her life in New York is a dream come true. As the holidays draw near, her ensemble mate Sloan persuades Charlotte and the rest of the quartet to spend Christmas with her family in Colorado. It is much cozier and quieter than Manhattan, and it would guarantee more practice time for the quartet's upcoming tour. But when Charlotte arrives, she discovers that Sloan's sister Adele has also brought a friend home. That friend is none other than her ex Brighton. So the friend what are the chances? All Brighton Fairbrook wanted was to have the holliest, jolliest Christmas and to try to forget that her band kicked her out. But instead, she's stuck pretending like she and her ex are strangers, which proves to be difficult when Sloane and Adele's mom signs them all up for a series of Christmas dating events. You know, like everyone does. Charlotte and Brighton are soon entrenched in horseback riding and cookie decorating, but Charlotte still won't talk to her. Brighton can hardly blame her after what she did. After a few days, however, things start to slip through. Memories, music, the way they used to play together, Brighton on guitar, Charlotte on her violin, and it all feels painfully familiar. But it's all in the past, and nothing can melt the ice in their hearts. Right? What is with all these books ending with right?
It's that's true. I've noticed that the more description on the back of the book, the less I like the book. The less on the back of the book, the more I like it.
Yeah,
So,
and so on the descriptions, a lot of times that these the publishers provide, that's what's like if you were to look up the book, they basically have the same blurb everywhere you look. It tells you this is the blurb.
Yeah.
And a lot of times at the very top is a bolded part of the blurb. Right.
Yeah.
I need the bolded part of the blurb to be so much better than it usually is, because I would like to only read the bolded part of the blurb.
Yes.
Instead of all of that. So like that
Right.
when two exes find themselves stuck at the same house for Christmas in this holiday romance, it's like, okay, you're giving me the bare minimum. I kind of get it. I need maybe a couple more descriptor words or like an additional sentence.
Yeah.
Like I think that the one for Adam and Eve's matchmaking tour is actually great. It says a rollicking, unforgettable romance about two strangers finding love despite their best efforts as they embark on a sweeping matchmaking tour through Vietnam.
Yeah,
Perfect
to me, that's perfect.
And they even tell you perfect for readers of Carly Fortune and Abby Jimenez. So it's like you're giving me information about what the plot is. You're giving me information about who the people are, that they're resistant to it, you know, and you're giving me like comparables, Carly Fortune and Abby Jimenez. It's like, I think that's great. So I agree. I don't need to read the entire plot because like we were saying, like you're taking me easily 125 pages into the book already.
Yeah. There's no surprise.
Like at some point, I'm just going to start opening the book halfway through and just going from there because I'll probably know everything.
Right. That's true. Unless the book is like 500 pages. So what they're giving us is just barely scratching the surface. Is that possible?
368 is that one.
That's not that.
That seems pretty average.
Yeah.
Right?
So that is a lot to give away.
That is a lot. The Jingle Mingle one is 400. The Adam and Eve's is 300 some. Oh, Daydream is 446. That's the Maple Hills one.
Yeah.
And 384 is The Truth According to Ember. I find somewhere between like 350, 370. I find that to be like maybe like 325 to 375 is like that seems good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I've read some romance books that are like alarmingly short. And then it feels like, what was the point?
And that's our roundup. Watch Romance Roundup on Rita Seeks Romance channel and subscribe on YouTube. Listen to Romance Roundup on Podbean and all podcast apps. Thanks for joining us here today, Nikki.
Thanks for having me, Liz and Libby.
Anytime.
And thank you for joining us, romance readers.
Happy reading, everyone.